Alright, sorry about that, folks. It's just got everybody all woken up. That's fine. This ought to be of interest to her, too. So, oh boy, she's got the TV turned up low. No. Well, Randy is in love with me. What can I say? Okay, yeah, she's turning the TV. She's got TV in the background and it's blaring. Cheryl, turn the TV down a little bit more. Well, good evening, everybody. And the subject of tonight's show is that there is a $5,000 reward that has been posted for the arrest of Timothy Charles Holmseth. And this is rare in these sort of things when somebody posts a reward, because they usually say arrest and conviction. But I've been in communication with the individual that put this up, and they say that all it would take is information leading to his arrest and the reward would be collected. Now, the individual who posted the reward is supposed to come in here sometime tonight. And so when the individual shows up, I will bring them into the room. And I'm trying to figure out why my banner keeps knocking This is not going all as planned, but this here is better than nothing, so I'll keep it at that one. But, oh, okay, the fugitive task force is here. This is the person that posted the reward. And excuse me for just a minute. I gotta go and turn the other TV down because it's bleeding over into the room. I'll be right back. Okay, I think we solved that little problem. Anyway, the task force is in here. Fugitive task force. She is the one that put up the reward. Accidentally gave out the person that put it up. Beacon Hell. Well, that's different that individual would come in, but okay. And welcome, Alex. Nice to see you in here. Anyway, the fugitive task force is in here. The fugitive task force is the one that put up the $5,000 reward. So what you can do is anybody that's interested can ask the fugitive task force for their comments on the rewards. And I will read them out as best I can to anybody that has not gotten a complete scoop on what's going on here. But for right now, there is a $5,000 reward simply for the arrest of Timothy Charles Holmseth. Don't have to wait until he's convicted. The task force is not concerned with that. They simply want him arrested. And it's believed that because he is a fugitive on a bench warrant out of the state of Minnesota, that there would be no bail set. So he would be in jail until trial, as I understand it. And Fugitive Task Force has stated, it's simple, $5,000 for information that leads to his arrest. He will be held without bond for 90 days, so he won't get bond. Okay, Fugitive Task Force states once again, you will need to be able to prove that your information led to his arrest by contacting law enforcement or waiting where you see him for law enforcement to show up. Now there is a website set up. I got to try and find it. I'm on a different computer because I'm preparing for the Chaos project. So I will be using my laptop for that. I'm on my desktop right now. Question, can he be arrested outside of Minnesota? Fugitive Task Force. Beacon Hell, I have no idea who operated that website. Under the current charges, he cannot be arrested outside the state of Minnesota. So he would have to be in the state of Minnesota in order to get arrested, and I believe that the reward would be offered there. Now, there are rumors, I haven't been able to substantiate them quite yet, that his status may be bumped up to a felony. In which case, if he ever is charged with a felony, he can be arrested out of state. But for right now, as long as Tim Holmseth stays out of the state of Minnesota, he can't be arrested. Well, I don't know about a van, Alex. I think it's living in his SUV down by the river. And there's all kinds of now, according to the Fugitive Task Force, everyone needs to contact the sheriff in Elk River and report him. I kind of figured that, Beacon Hell. I was always wondering who was behind that, but that when you stop and think about it, that makes sense because she liked to set up a lot of fake websites, and this would be one of them. So that sounds like. Has Timmy ever explained those creepy photos of a 7-year-old son dressed up as Joan Benet Ramsey? Is he still pretending those didn't leak? He came out and stated something about it was an innocent saying that everybody dresses their child up in the opposite sex. And I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. And task force reiterated that he must be arrested in the state of Minnesota. If he leaves the state of Minnesota, he's not going to be able to be arrested on the current warrant. So. Oh, I see we got a troll in here. Yeah, well, what can I say? It's the only thing people know how to do is to troll. And, so. But it just, I think what's going on here is that somebody is scared and they're trying to kind of disrupt the channel. It's not going to work because we're used to trolls coming in here. The Astro has everybody blocked and firemen, and from what I understand, she's not doing anything. She puts up banners and that's it. She has no followers and she's not following anybody. And I don't think Astro has been active on that channel in God knows how long. So, and if Astro is still behind Tim after all this, then I feel sorry for her. Task Force, Tim has been destroyed. His Facebook is gone. His home is gone. He's on the run. Yeah, and as far as I know, he's not posting anywhere on the internet. Now, people are using his name. His handler is recycling old material from the past in order to bolster things. So the only thing I can figure is maybe Randy came in as Beacon Hill. Or Beacon Hell. What the hell? Alex can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Michelle McGee was the original one that reached out to Anonymous, and I'm going to let her handle that because I was not involved at all in the Steubenville matter, so I don't know. Um, Boy, Beacon Hell, you just are trolling away tonight. Well, you know, I'm just going to sit back and watch this. Alex can handle herself. Well, Tyler the Fox knows that we know that we are not going to fall for his BS. It's the weak-minded, the gullible, and the desperate that are going to fall for his nonsense. And, more and more people are getting aware of what he's up to and basically, are moving away from him. Just adjusting. Well, you can't run away to me. I'll catch up to you. There you go. Well, if anything, Beacon Hell is adding a little, fire to the conversation tonight. Beacon Hell must be really, really, really worried to be in here. And that's just like the so-called task force that shows up every once in a while. Extremely desperate people. They come in here and attack this little teeny weeny blog. And not blog, but YouTube channel. But, what are you going to do? But, the reward is out there. I got to go do something here real quick online. I can get the mouse to work. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am bringing in Timmy smells because he doesn't take a bath, from what I understand. There's the link. Anybody that has information on Tim Holmseth, there's the link of the website you would go to for further information. The reward is being put up by a person operating a website called the Fugitive Task Force. I've just put the link up to it, and I'm going to keep putting it in here. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting any echo at all, but sorry about that. For some reason, I'm not able to monitor the headset, so this is going to be somewhat of a short, well, at least I intended to be short. I'll keep this going as long as my numbers are up. But to change the subject slightly, I'm in the process. I got sidetracked a little bit. Put this over here. Okay, somebody sent me a message on Twitter. Let's see, let me go back into here. Oh, that's good enough. Well, there's 5,000 reasons for people to figure out where he's at. You know, cash rewards have a habit of flushing out information. You know, and you know, in this time of a hard economic times, you know, somebody could use a little money. Okay, just so everybody knows, this is my departure times. I'm leaving at 7:30 in the morning, and I will arrive at my final destination at about 11:15 in the morning. So I'll start planning things between noon, 1 o'clock when I get to my first destination. I may try and post some of the videos I'm going to be taking of the flight on the way up. I want to test out a new camera and a couple of other things, so we'll see how it works out. But that is my my current flight information, and I'll repost it from time to time. And the plan is, at this point, that I will be gone through Friday. I will be coming back on Friday. Oh, Dominic came in with that. You know, Dominic, you are a dumb shit, because I'm sitting here in my house on my computer. But, you know, what the hell? You're adding to my analytics, which helps me with YouTube, so knock yourself out. You know, you want to prove yourself to be stupid. You know, Dominic, you could go out and find Tim Holmseth and make yourself $5,000. Because all he has to do is be arrested. He doesn't have to be convicted. You just turn the information in, get yourself $5,000 and go on vacation. Yeah, what could be easier? Easy $5,000. Better odds than the lottery, I would think. So, you know, go find Timmy, turn him in, make yourself $5,000. You know, there's plenty of people out there that know Tim from the past. And so there would be no problem at all for them to say, hey, you know, we know Tim. He's living at so-and-so's house. Let's go, you know, follow him around, take him to the cops, and $5,000, man, I could buy a hell of a boat for that. Or I could buy a nice car, you know, get stuff done on my Jeep, you know, maybe go to the Indy 500 or something, or down to Daytona Beach to the races. All kinds of shit you could do with that. So, well, our favorite troll is in here. Hiya, Randy. How you doing? Hey, Randy, you could get yourself a quick $5,000 by turning Timmy into the cops. You know. Yeah. Well, as that reward gets spread around, because I understand there's a possibility of posters being printed up and being redistributed all over the state of Minnesota. That would be interesting. Send them out to all the truck stops, all the McDonald's, all the anywhere that has a Wi-Fi connection. Spread the word. I doubt Randy thinks of anything other than money. Yeah, you get them out there on the internet, get them out to the truck stops, retail establishments like Walmart. People can print them out, take them to their local places that they know, and put the posters up. Because that's one thing will do it. If people that live in the state of Minnesota would print out the reward poster and run around their individual areas and post it like in laundromats or in stores, storefront windows, put them on your car, print up 3 of them, put 1 in the back window and 2 on each side back window so people can see it from all angles. So, boy, Task Force just wants to get sued. Task Force, everybody knows who you are. You admitted it. And what you're doing is slander and defamation of character, and you're a rich real estate broker, man. We could suck you dry. You'd wind up looking like a worse prune than you already do. Civil lawsuits, when somebody starts making that kind of stuff, it's easy to file. And it doesn't take a heck of a lot of money. So, and that's a funny thing, Task Force threatened to sue me because I just put out an opinion, and here she is making direct accusations. And I'll send Al Kennedy the screenshot that I took of you suing, threatening to sue me, Task Force, and she can use that in court. So, you're not, the thing of it is, Task Force, you're not too damn bright. I'm surprised somebody as stupid as you are is in the real estate business, because you don't understand, risk factors. By the same token, how do we know that Task Force is not a pedophile? We don't know that. Task Force could be in here swinging all these accusations around to take the suspicion away from them, because, we are not absolutely certain who Task Force is. So there's a distinct possibility that Task Force is an unregistered sex offender trying to cover up her crimes by swinging the suspicion over to other people. So it's just a clear sign that Task Force is running scared, because Task Force is in here trying to derail the conversation. Well, it's not going to happen. You're just adding to it. It was reported that Task Force might be Wind Chime, who is an unregistered sex offender. She pled guilty to 4 counts of lewd acts in front of children. She had one of the children take pictures of her private parts. And then the husband at the time molested the child. Well, if Task Force is dead, then Task Force is typing from the grave. And Task Force is not Timothy Holmseth. It's somebody else. And she admitted that because she had to send an appeal to YouTube over a takedown notice, and in order to do that, you have to use your real name. So, there is that. So Task Force basically fell for a trap. Because when you appeal a takedown order, your name gets put up there as being the owner of the website. And when you do that, you just cooked your own goose. But, and it's funny, today over on her Facebook, Randy put up a story that the president or CEO of Netflix had been arrested because he had child porn. And no sooner than that post went up, then Facebook slapped another false news on her, and then she retracted saying, well, I don't know if the story's true or not, after boasting about it for several hours. But this is what happens. I have seen a bunch of fake news strikes being put on her account. And if it keeps up, Facebook is going to suspend it. Because they are cracking down on these fake accounts that are putting up these fake news things. And I also understand that the owner of QAnon has been identified and his website has shut down, the QAnon. And it's some kid in the basement up in New Jersey. And also connected to the QAnon fiasco is a guy who used to own 8chan, which is a porn site. We got Randy coming in here under multiple names. I love it. You know, Task Force must be an atheist, you know, because she doesn't follow the Bible at all. I mean, you know, you can claim you're a Christian, but you have to act like a Christian, and Task Force is not acting like a Christian. Well, why don't you get the Pentagon to find out? I mean, you have these connections with the Pentagon. You should be able to figure all this stuff out. I mean, Task Force, I mean, for someone with all these political, connections, you are the worst investigator and purveyor of the truth I've ever seen. You know, nothing you say anywhere on the internet is true. You're a liar and you're a fraud. So why don't you sue me there, Task Force? You said you were going to sue me and you never did. Task Force is a fraud. Task Force is a criminal. Task Force is scamming people out of their money. Tim is not 2 persons away from Trump. You know, if anything, Timmy's 2 persons away from a bar of soap and a shower. I love these people that say they're Christians and they go around and violate just about every commandment in the Bible. You know, we got a married woman fooling around with a conspiracy nut, fleecing people out of their money, getting women arrested for kidnapping their children, getting another woman so terrified that she had to go into hiding and may lose her political campaign because of this nonsense. Probably was destined to lose it anyway. But, you know, it's even more bounce to the ounce. They're just adjusting things. Well, it still didn't work. Screw it. Well, Task Force, why don't you prove it? I mean, you say a lot of things, but you don't prove anything. I mean, you can sit here under that Secret Sam name of yours and make all these allegations, and, you know, nothing is true. Absolutely nothing you say is true. You're the biggest liar on the internet. I just find it amazing that people are stupid enough to believe what you have to say. I mean, people are desperate to the point that they'd follow some idiot that doesn't know her ass from the hole in the ground, and someone that spends more time on the internet than she does with her family. Oh, I heard a rumor. Now, I can't verify this, but it has come to my attention that a certain grandmother, I'd say she's around 61 or so, is estranged from her own 2 daughters because of her actions on the internet. They refuse to see her. They will see her husband and the father and the grandfather, but they refuse to see her. They've disowned her. They've divorced their own mother. Now, isn't that something? That this woman would be willing to abandon her own family over some fantasy called QAnon and all this fake stuff. I mean, this woman can't even get along with her own children. The daughters have said, no, this woman's crazy. We want nothing. We want nothing to do with her. Well, Task Force, I'll interrupt my monologue. I don't know where he's at. I'm not his babysitter. If you want to know where Levi Page is, why don't you call the President of the United States and you ask the President where he is? Because you seem to, for someone that has this big organization that's supposed to be going around the country saving all these children, and you can't find a college kid. I mean, gee whiz. I mean, what kind of an organization are you running? I mean, are you that inept that you can't find Levi Page? No, Task Force, he did not lie. And, you're the one that's lying. Tim Holmseth is a slob. Period. What does it mean to be a Christian? It's truth, honesty, following the Ten Commandments, and following the Word of God, which apparently Task Force cannot do, because she's violating most, if not all, of the Ten Commandments. She's not following the teachings of the Bible. So, what can I say? Thou shalt not lie. That's in the Bible. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. That is in the Bible. Basic Ten Commandments. It's one of the first things you learn. And Christians, the more people say that they're Christians, the more they are not, because Task Force is an example of what a Christian is not. She is no Christian. Absolutely, positively not a Christian, and neither is Tim Holmseth, because they will not follow the teachings of God. Period. Task Force, no. And, you can sit there and lie until you're blue in the face, but pictures don't lie. There were photographs taken of the apartment. The photograph of Tim Holmseth with his son is proof that it was a mess, because you could see it in the background. I'm not going to sit here and preach the Bible. The Bible varies according to religion. Basically, people that say they are Christian, say they follow the Ten Commandments, they this, they that. It's not there. Yes, Tim Holmseth is a slob. Well, see, the problem here, Task Force, is that Tim Holmseth is supposed to be the third person, or the third in line, second in line, whatever, to the President of the United States, and yet he's living out of a car full of junk. He left his apartment an absolute mess. There's multiple statements to that effect, including the landlord, that the apartment was left in horrific condition. They had to clean it up in order for Tim Holmseth to get his deposit back. And Task Force went poof. Thank you, moderate. There's a point. I don't want to see that the Task Force is terrified right now, because now there's a reward for Tim Holmseth, $5,000. And that reward may go up if more people decide to join in and pledge to the reward. That's going to be up to Fugitive Task Force how they want to handle that. But I would think that if there's more people that would like to shell out a little bit of reward, maybe they should take maybe somebody should put up a a Patreon or a PayPal or one of these other, not PayPal, but, put up one of these fundraising organizations to raise a reward for the arrest of Tim Holmseth. One of you guys out there that has good organizational skills, why don't you put that up? I'll advertise it, and let's see how much of a reward we can get for whoever gets Tim Holmseth arrested. The more, the merrier. Because the higher the reward goes, the more incentive it is for someone out there to turn in this clown. I've always said, I said a long time ago, if somebody were to put up a reward for the arrest of Tim Holmseth, somebody out there who's been laid off of their job or who's in danger of losing their apartment or has the financial problems that we face now in this pandemic and the wretched economy we're going through, would put up a reward for Timmy, would take advantage of the reward. I'd like to see it go up to $100,000. But, every dollar counts. So somebody out there with the skill to do it, start a GoFundMe, start a Patreon, start one of these things where we can get more money towards the reward for the arrest of Timothy Charles Holmseth to give in addition to the one the Fugitive Task Force is putting up. Well, Pepsi Puss, this is the thing. Number one, we don't know yet if Timothy Holmseth is out of Minnesota. If he is, then that means that Tim Holmseth can never see his daughter again, or never see, if his grandparents die, or his parents, I should say, if they should have an emergency or anything like that, he can't go into Minnesota to see him because he'd be arrested. And at the very least, if you spread the posters throughout the United States, anybody that goes to hire this clown's going to say, hey, this guy's a fugitive for justice. We don't want him working here. At the very least, everybody in the United States could know that Timothy Charles Holmseth has a warrant out for his arrest. Prospective employers are going to have this thing up on the wall. Tim Holmseth comes in looking for a job, and they're going to say, sorry, guy, you're a fugitive from Minnesota. We can't have somebody like you here, especially with what he's being charged with. Tim Holmseth is charged with stalking a woman and making threats. A lawyer, no less. That will not sit well with any prospective employer, anybody that has an apartment, any woman who wouldn't have any common sense not to have anything to do with them, based on what's in that warrant. So I would be very careful with suggestions, because that's what's going to happen. I mean, at the very least, Tim Holmseth's reputation is going to be out there, because there's going to be 5,000 reasons for people to research and find out why this guy has a warrant now for his arrest. And they're going to find out that this is one sick puppy, and they're going to say, Jesus, I want nothing to do with this clown. I'm not sending this guy money to his patron. So Timmy is screwed. And it ain't having the mushy mush with a woman. He's screwed himself. Eventually the rest of these clowns are going to see justice, because things are starting to warm up. One of the reasons that I'm getting involved with this Chaos Project has to do with future events, has to do with what's been happening for the last year. My purpose with the Chaos Project is to research what happened, how it happened, why it happened in a particular circumstance. Not going to say specifically exactly what I'm doing, but more than likely come Monday afternoon, you're going to find out what this is all about. And I'm anticipating that the Chaos Project is going to be one of the more interesting things that I have done in my streaming career. Now, it's not going to be live streamed simply because live streaming is very unreliable. I don't have the numbers with YouTube yet to do it mobile. So I can't do it through my carrier. I'd have to do it Wi-Fi from remote locations, and that's a little impractical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my activities during the day. I'll edit and get the day's events onto a YouTube video, and they will be posted online. Well, they did a hell of a job with this clone. I mean, cloning is amazing. This Dominic dipshit is saying that I'm a clone. Well, hell, they did a pretty damn good job. I wish they'd done a better job with the teeth, but clone's a clone. They have to be mirrored. And the nice thing about cloning is I can be in 50 places at the same time. I can be home, I can be here, there, and everywhere. So maybe there's a clone army of me, and I'm going to be spread all over the United States. Hundreds and thousands of mercs running around looking for Timmy. Wouldn't that be a gas? Yeah, that reminds me of that. There was a movie called Multiplicity, and the guy kept cloning himself. Maybe that's what's being done here, and this way I can go all over the United States all at once, be in every state in the United States. I may even go up to Canada, send one of my clones up to Canada and see if I can find him. Wouldn't that be great? Let's say I'd have a MERT. We can put a MERT clone in Elk River. We can put a MERT clone out in Arizona at that one guy's place. We could put a MERT clone everywhere. Oh, bye, Dominic. Hell, wouldn't that be a guess? All these people saying that there's clones and everything, it would say, you could be 50 places at the same time. I could have 100 of me, clones of me, working at every Walmart in the country, making all this money, and we'd pool all our resources to the original MERT. And boy, that would be great. That's a hell of an idea. I'll mention that to the real MERT. Jesus Christ. I gotta love these people. This cloning shit's come out before. I mean, Kim is supposed to be cloned. Hillary's supposed to be cloned. Even Pence's wife is supposed to be cloned. Who knows? JFK Jr. might be a clone. I mean, the fairy tales out of these idiots is amazing. These people have no idea, what it entails to clone an entire human being, and why the technology is not here yet, probably won't be here for another 100 years at a minimum. I mean, it's an ungodly. Hi, Levi. Task Force was asking for you, Levi. She was desperate. I think she's in love. She was in here asking all kinds of questions about you, as usual. The warrant has 4 counts of stalking. He was adjudicated guilty on 1 of the 4 charges. He knew he was going to get adjudicated guilty if he went on trial for the second one. So like the little coward he is, he ran away. And so he's running around in his little car like the little coward he is. But now there are 5,000 reasons to hunt him down. Let's find this little Turk, and maybe somebody could give more money towards this reward. And like I said, here's another link to that page. There's the Facebook page that's up about it. The information of how to get the reward is on there. I think she can watch, but she can't comment. I don't know how that works. But the thing of it is this show is recorded, so she can always play it back. But $5,000 reward for Timmy. So this is the start of an interesting week because tomorrow starts the Chaos Project. Let's see, let me put this back up again. 7:30 in the morning, I'm leaving on a jet plane. Gonna spend a week on this project. Hopefully, maybe Cobra could get involved, He's a bounty hunter, this would be right up his alley. Let me move this up a little bit. I want to go up. There, that's better. Let's see what's going on over here. Yeah, this is one of the first times I've seen a reward like this go up, and all they're asking is for the person to be arrested. The person does not have to be convicted, just arrested. So that's I'm going to be waiting all week to see how this one turns out. I'm going to be busy all week, but I'm going to be and the thing of it is there are, maybe somebody out there could start another one. I mean, there's no reason why multiple people can't have rewards for the arrest of Tim Holmseth. Because I don't know if Fugitive Task Force would take additional requests to be put on that particular reward bounty. I think probably the best solution would be someone else start a GoFundMe or Patreon or some other donation drive so that we could get a reward started. And this way, this would be in addition to the $5,000. It should not be, it would be interesting to get $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 because the more money you get, the harder people are going to look for this guy. There's a lot of people out of work right now that would have the spare time to go looking for this guy. And all you got to do, there's obvious places to look. So, there's people out there that really could use $5,000 right now, and they could use $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Look, we got, somebody got $50,000 for Field McConnell. So if we can get $50,000 for Field McConnell, there should be someone out there that could get, $50,000 to get Tim Holmseth arrested. So, anybody out there that has the ability to do it, start your own fund. Let's see how many of these reward things we can get going for the arrest of Timothy Charles Holmseth. Let's make a contest out of it. This ought to be really interesting. And I see task force is out of probation. No, it's not Timmy. Timmy is no longer on the internet at all. Zippo. That's the woman he's been having an affair with that came in here under the task force. Yeah. Well, task force got kicked out again. Have fun in probation there, task force. You're going to learn your lesson one of these days. I don't understand why task force just doesn't start live streaming. I mean, there's technology out there. She could, cover her voice up and stuff, and use that fake software you use to make Timmy's voice. That ought to do it. right, Mr. Smith, I hadn't been watching your questioning, so my apologies. I'm not calling anybody a troll unless they start defaming people. Hey, yeah, you should be around long enough to know how these things work on these chats, you know. You're going to have everybody suspected of being a troll. That's always the way it is with these things. So you got to kind of bear with it and kind of learn how things work. You know, ask your questions, Mr. Smith, if they're legitimate questions. I, being the owner of this site, will answer them. You know, I haven't been paying that much attention to the chat, so I don't know what Mr. Smith's questions were or were not. Yeah, I thought I answered that. He's charged with 4 counts of violating a no contact. Well, basically, it's an order to leave the attorney alone and quit saying false things about her. And he violated it 4 times. He was convicted once. Well, I can give you the validation. The arrest warrant is out of Polk County, Minnesota, out of the court administration in Crookston, Minnesota. It was issued the day after he absconded from court and is still effective to this day. That's coming up on a year ago. He's charged with contempt of court, and he's also charged with the 3 of the 4 violation of the order that was issued against him. He was convicted by a jury of the first one. He was going on trial for the second one, and he was persuaded to skip trial, and that's what he did. And so there's a bench warrant out for his arrest. And now there's a $5,000 reward for his arrest. Because judges don't like people that skip out on trial. You know, she had people sitting in court for the entire day looking for this guy, and he just, the coward as he was, he just up and left. Well, you see, that's the thing. Timmy's a coward. He will not stand up for himself. He just runs away. Hides under the skirts of his handler. And it's a misdemeanor, for crying out loud. You know, a lousy misdemeanor. You serve 30, 60 days in the slammer, get 3 squares in a cot, and you're done. He could have been done with this a long time ago, been this big martyr, and he chose to be the sniveling coward he is and run away. You know, I love it. Well, you know, the one thing I've learned in live streaming over the years I've done this is you just ignore the trolls. You know, the moderators, if you have them, will snuff them out. But otherwise, you just put up with them. You know, because they, you know, in some cases you can use the troll as a tool for the narrative you're trying to get across. And, you know, Task Force is a good example. You know, instead of answering the questions about Timmy and his actions, she sits there and tries to gaslight somebody to throw the conversation off. You know, because she's scared about what's being brought up tonight. That her lover now has a $5,000 reward. There's a bounty on his ass. You know, and somebody out there needs $5,000. So, you know, and so Tim Holmseth is being forced to leave the state where he's lived for quite a long time because of this bounty. And if we spread this nationally, In my opinion, I think they are. I have no proof, but it would make sense, based on, the actions here. I mean, why would Randy be so dedicated to such an idiot? So, yeah, it's, in my humble opinion, they probably are having an affair, or did. It would make sense considering, the actions of everybody in that group. Oh, hi, Amber. Oh, all right. Hold on. Who let you out, huh? Yeah. All right, everybody. Whoop. Yep. Say hi, Amber. Yep, there's the camera. Amber came for a visit. As far as I know, they're still married. That's, I've never really gotten a firm answer on that, and I really don't care. It wouldn't be the first time somebody's banged a married woman, it happens. But she's supposed to be, everybody's supposed to be a Christian, and one of the things you don't do is covenant another man's wife. So if they're banging each other, then, that's another commandment that's on that checklist. Thou shalt not steal. They're stealing, based on this, task force thing, so it's just, you can sit there and check off the commandments these people are violating and ask, what's the point of being a Christian if you're not going to follow the teachings of the Bible? It's, wow. Well, again, Levi, I don't know. I don't know anything about the husband at all. But it's a rumor that I have heard from multiple sources that the granddaughters have basically put off, they've written off the grandmother, her mother. They want nothing to do with her. I mean, they bring the grandchildren to the grandfather, but they want nothing to do with her. That's, she's alienated her own family. Well, that could be Levi. I mean, there's all kinds of weirdos out there, and nothing would surprise me at this point. But, I've never really cared for all this gossip stuff. I mean, Randy cares about it. She goes after Levi with the stuff that Astro started a decade ago. It's really weird. And this is a group that is supposed to be looking for missing children. This is the funny thing about this. I mean, you got people that say that, we're going around finding all these children or trying to find these children, and then they come into a board like this, and they say absolutely positively nothing about missing children. It's all about gaslighting people. And it's the same thing they do with me. They put up cartoons and videos and stuff like that. That has nothing to do with finding missing children. These people are supposed to be part of if at a minimum, a government mandate, because they've abandoned that they're working for the United States government. Now it's just a group that's working on their own. I mean, they backtracked on that real quick. I think it's laughable, in this QAnon thing. I'm sorry, those of you guys that believe in the QAnons, I can't go that far. I think that whole thing is nonsense, and I think that the person that is, and there's been at least 2 instances where they have discovered who is behind the QAnon, and it turns out that one of them is some dude from New Jersey, because the QAnon site has been shut down that got tracked to him. So slowly but surely, QAnon is going to be found out, because that's what happens. They can take their label of conspiracy theorist and shove it. It's called child sex trafficking, and in our America, that's unacceptable. Well, see, this is written by Sherry Higdon. The problem with that is you got to be talking about legitimate sex trafficking. instead of making up fairy tales. And that's what these people are doing. They're making up fairy tales. They're lying. And then they turn around and they gaslight people that are trying to show that they're liars because they're running scared. And people are beginning to wake up. They're saying, look, you are not a spokesperson for the President of the United States. The President of the United States never even heard of you. And the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force is simply a figment of your imaginations. And it's some kind of secret super duper club that you made up so you could part people from their hard-earned money because you're talking them into believing this crap. I mean, why else would you need to be making $1,000 a month on a Patreon account? Because if you're what's considered a press secretary for any agency of the federal government, you'd be knocking down 70 to 80 grand at a minimum. I mean, the press secretary for Trump is making about $170,000 a year. There's good money in being in public relations in the political world, in the government. And you certainly don't have to go around Wi-Fiing out of a car. But people don't use their common sense. They get involved in this crap, and they think, oh, well, this excuse, that excuse. And they throw their good hard-earned money on crap. And that's what's happened down here. But now, he's made himself so famous that people are going to be looking at this poster that's being put up that's on Facebook, and it's probably going to wind up on every social media outlet there is. I'd look for it to be on Instagram and all these different, you might even see it on TikTok. That'd be funny. There's all different places that the task force could put this, and people that see it and say, well, who the hell is this guy? And if other people were to start some account, Patreon, GoFundMe, any of these accounts out there, to fund the reward for Timothy Charles Holmseth to get arrested, this thing could go to $50,000, $100,000 quickly. I mean, they raised $25 million for a wall, and it was a private wall. Of course, the guy spent it all on boats, but the money can be, there's people out there that probably would be willing to give money to boost this reward, and then somebody else come along and say, hey, this is getting to the point where I'll play my own private detective and I'll go track this guy down. Well, somebody ought to ask Craig Sawyer to chip in. He's got me blocked. I have no way of contacting him. He don't like me for some reason. But somebody who is friends with Craig Sawyer should talk to him about it. Craig Sawyer's got a big following. If he could get people to chip in $5 on a reward to have this idiot arrested, then there'd be a professional bounty hunter out there that would take the job. So that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the reward to get up to the point where a professional bounty hunter will say, hey, I can use this, and a bounty hunter will track him down. You get somebody like that guy that used to do that TV show. He might be interested in the money. $20, $30, $40, $50,000, easy money. Because these bounty hunters know how to track. Dog is the one I was thinking of. I met him. He could find them. But the thing of it is, if you spread the word even outside the state of Minnesota, he can't be arrested in Minnesota, but if you spread the word around the entire country in Walmarts and shopping centers and all the different places that people would use that are on the run, someone's going to see him and say, hey, that dude's wanted in Minnesota. He might not be able to be arrested in Minnesota, but he sure as hell is not going to escape his fame, and people are going to say, geez, we don't want to hire this guy, or we don't want to give this guy a room, or we don't want to go out on a date with this guy. He's got this warrant out, and it's a warrant for violent threats against a woman. I mean, who the hell wants to go out with a guy with a reputation like that? So, that's the thing here, is rewards have a habit of turning up results. He can be arrested in the state of Florida because the case is originated out of Florida. Florida has a warrant out for him as well, because he originally violated the state of Florida. So that's why he will not step foot in the state of Florida. So it'd probably be a good idea. I'm going to work on trying to get this thing out down here in Florida on the community pages here in Florida, but the word should be spread throughout the state of Florida as well, in case because he does have a Florida connection over in Largo, Florida. So she might try and sneak him down here, and then people in Florida see him. They might be able to cash in on the reward. Because if he's arrested, doesn't matter where, I would think that the Fugitive Task Force would honor the reward. I could make a trip over there, but there are ways to do it. You just go over, you put in an advertisement on the Largo Craigslist, and it's Tampa St. Petersburg Craigslist. And as a matter of fact, the Minneapolis Craigslist would be a good place to post that. Put it up on their message boards over on Craigslist. And also on the community pages in Facebook. Put it over on their for sale things, their community neighborhood watch boards. There's all kinds of places that you can put the reward for people. And it's like if the Fugitive Task Force ever gets their streaming going, I'd love to go over there and talk on their channel and stuff like that. And then, they're free to use my webcast. They could put my webcast over there on their channel if they want. They have free license to use the content. Yeah, well, it's the truth, so why not? Well, Field McConnell could help out by testifying against him and, saying, hey, I know information about Tim Holmseth that would get him bumped up to a felony. And, Field McConnell might be offered that. You never know. Because Field McConnell is in the situation he's in because of Tim Holmseth. He got duped into this thing, and now Tim is running around free as a bird, and Field is paying the price for it. It's always other people that have to pay the price for Tim Holmseth's conduct. Yeah, he's under house arrest. He's got a GPS bracelet on. He can't go anywhere without notifying the person in charge of keeping an eye on him. He can only leave the house for 2 hours at a time. He's very restricted. He can't talk to anybody. He has to remain in the car. The window's closed, period. He's completely isolated. People cannot visit the house. He can't go outside and talk to people on the lawn. Can't do any of that. He's basically a prisoner of a gilded cage. I mean, it's a nice house. Got a pool, got a patio, big ass barbecue out there. So basically he's in one of these plush prisons, if you want to call it that. It's basically a one-person country club. But you can't go golfing there. I suppose you could putt out of the backyard or something, but cannot leave the house. to the front door. It has to be in the back. So he's totally isolated. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles the holidays. Now you got New Year's coming up, you got Christmas coming up. The son is going to have a problem because if his son has friends that come over for Thanksgiving dinner, he can't really do it because his father's there under house arrest. Christmas is going to be a bummer because, how are you going to handle Christmas? People usually come over, for Christmas, and here they got a man in the house under arrest for making violent threats against a woman. That's going to go over, that's doing wonders. Levi, no, he cannot. He cannot have visitors at all, period. He's completely isolated. If he's using a cell to stream from it, he's in violation and he can be thrown back in county jail. He is not allowed to have any communications without going through his lawyer. That's part of the restriction. So, if he is using a cell phone to contact people on the outside, the court will find out and he will be put into contempt immediately and hauled back to Broward County. That would be, if he's doing that, he's just basically hung himself, because that'll come out eventually. Because all it takes is one phone call to the company that's handling the GPS monitoring, and he's done. But once again, I'm going to put my schedule up just so people understand what's going on. Okay, well, I'll go ahead. But like I said, I probably, of course, I can always sleep on the airplane, so that's no problem. But the flight is scheduled at 7:30 in the morning. It takes me an hour to get down there, so I'll probably be getting up at 6 o'clock. That's all right. I've made arrangements with the Orange County Sheriff's Department to keep an eye on the house. And just a reminder to anybody out there that thinks that they want to come over here, this house is on private property. This is not on a public street. When you enter the trailer park, you are on private property. You can be arrested for trespassing. I have security cameras on the house. I have about 6 of them, and I can monitor the security cameras from anywhere in the United States. And I told him the landlord's aware that I'm not going to be here. He's going to keep an eye out on the place. I have friends that will keep an eye on the house. So this is pretty well covered. I mean, if somebody comes here to attack a 70-year-old woman, that's pretty kind of low, because Cheryl's going to be in the house alone. And that's, of course, these people have no compunction for terrorizing a woman anyway. That's what got Tim Holmseth in this situation he's in. But, I may make arrangements for someone to be here with Cheryl who is armed, and I'm working on that one. And so anybody that comes in here that wants to do her harm, they'll be leaving in a body bag. So they may want to take that one under advisement. Because the key to the thing is, this is private property. This isn't on a public road. It's private property. There's a sign up stating that it's private property, and the landlord will enforce violators of that trespass. So I would very much advise against it. Oh yeah, she's a wily little thing. She's got a baseball bat all set to go, and Amber would probably bite him. Look, well, that's the problem, Tyler. QAnon and these QAnon nuts ignore a lot of stuff. I mean, there's proof. I read out of his book about his thoughts. You know, the introduction to his book is like, Jesus. And yet people still believe this guy. It's, you know, it's like I said, there's people out there that are gullible and they're desperate. And so they, you know, I'm not here to convince people that Tim is a liar. You know, I'm here to see his ass arrested and brought to justice for the criminal actions he's taken part in for the last decade or so. You know, and it's going to happen sooner or later. Now remember, we've got a kidnapping up in Colorado. There's been a new charge that was added to her case. So, you know, she's even in more serious trouble than she was to be started. And she's still in jail. She cannot get out on bail. They won't let her. She tried to get out, and they said, nope, you're staying in there. So this woman is locked up right now. In another 2 weeks or so, she's going to be in court for a preliminary hearing. And, you know, then we're going to go down that rabbit hole. There's a case out of Kentucky that has to do with the situation. There's a woman out of Arkansas is in trouble because of the situation. There's a woman that was running for political office that was terrified because of this situation. And I'm like, you know, there's all kinds of things that are going on at the same time right now. And this is on top of the trial of Field McConnell. So that, you know, there's all this stuff going on. And it's one of the reasons why I was hoping that I could get something started so I could afford to go running around and cover all these cases, because it's going to be a busy year. Either was or is. He could be a fish person, a mole person, lizard person, something. Sure as hell ain't a normal person. You know, anybody that has to have a $5,000 reward posted against them for a frickin' misdemeanor, I mean, that's pretty sad. I mean, usually you don't see a reward like this unless it's a felon. But somebody's mad enough at this clown that they're willing to put up $5,000 of their hard-earned money to throw his ass in jail. That's dedication. You know, so... You know, that's something that task force needs to think about, that there is somebody out there willing to put up $5,000 just to get him arrested. They don't care if he gets convicted or not. They just want his ass in jail. Now, that's pretty minimal. You know, usually if you're going to get an award like that, you have to follow all kinds of shit. He has to be arrested, he has to be convicted, blah, 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 blah. But no, all you got to do is give information that leads to his arrest and show that you were the one that provided that information, and you make yourself 5,000 clams easy deasy. You know, it might be done in a way where you don't have to pay any income tax on it. You know, that's like crime line. You know, you remain anonymous, you get a reward, and you can go out and buy all the drugs you want. You know, so maybe there's some pillhead out there that could use $5,000 to buy themselves their next hit or something. You know, $5,000 buys a lot of joints. You know, get yourself a toke on that joint for $5,000. You know, or you can go out and get drunk on some good whiskey, $5,000 worth of whiskey. Holy crap! You could slosh in the pond for the rest of your life with that kind of money. You know, there's the simple things. You can eat, get yourself a decent room, go on vacation, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so there's $5,000 just waiting there, just waiting for someone to grab it. All they got to do is say, hey, Timmy is right here. I'm calling the Elk River Police Department, or I'm going to call the East Grand Forks Police Department and say, hey, I know where this guy is. He's right here. I'm going to sit right here until you arrest his ass, and then I'm going to call up this task force person and get my money. Those dead presidents are a pretty powerful incentive to get some green. I wish I could get $5,000 by finding this terp. When you're living on Social Security, $5,000 is a lot of money. I could sure use it. But, I have no idea where the flock this terp is, or I'd personally go up there and say, come on, dude, I'm taking you downtown. But somebody that lives up in Minnesota, somebody that lives in the neighboring states, you see Timmy, call the cops. Say, I'm sitting right here looking at him. Hey, cheers, man. Welcome to the chat. I'm going international tonight. Well, he has not been released, Hellboy. He's under house arrest pending trial. He's at his son's house right now. He has to wear an ankle bracelet. He's got a lot of restrictions against him. Because of the virus, there's been a delay on the trial. They've waived speedy trial and all that. But he is not free by any means. He's stuck in his son's house. He can't go anywhere for more than 2 hours. And he has to be in the company of his son. He can't call anybody without going through his lawyer. He has got the same kind of restriction that a person would have that was convicted or is pending trial for an extremely violent crime, rape, incest, pedophilia, you name it. But he's under one of the strictest protocols you can have for restrictions. So, well, he's in a hot spot for the virus, so you never know. He needs to turn state's evidence against Tim, Randy, and these other people. Because that would get, he could probably get time served from it and, get free tomorrow if he were to cut some kind of deal with the prosecution. So, it's my opinion that the most likely thing that is going to happen is if he is adjudicated guilty or he pleads guilty, that they would give him time served and cut him loose. Because he's been under confinement for a year now. And it's, what the way things are, give him time served, cut him loose, tell him he can't go on the internet anymore and he can't talk about the woman anymore. Let him go. That's what I'm anticipating will happen. But I will be in Fort Lauderdale when things start to happen. I'm just waiting. It's an ankle monitor he's got on. He can't take it off. Has to be on 24/7. If anything goes wrong with it, he has to notify the company that's operating the monitor. Well, what's funny is that same man also accused local cops of raping his naked teenage daughter while they were arresting him. Weird dude. He comes up with all kinds of things. And I've talked about some of the things he's accused people of over the years. This character over my shoulder believes that the Vice President of the United States thought him so important that he came to Minnesota to have the guy killed. That's what we're talking about here. This guy is accusing the Vice President of the United States of an attempted assassination of him. And that he had 6 Navy SEALs protect him and drive away the Vice President of the United States. I mean, good God Almighty. What kind of stupid people would believe this sort of thing? I mean, the guy's living in his damn car. He can't even afford a hotel. He has to mooch off of people. and, hang around inside of a car. Now he's not on the air at all. Maybe they repossessed his car or something. But, he has not been around for close to 2 months now. People come along claiming to be him, but no proof of life. Everything you see on the various people that support him, it's all recycled junk. It's things that were, well, that's it. He can't pay the phone bill, but that's why he's using Wi-Fi. He goes to a restaurant, patches, piggybacks off of Wi-Fi, and away he goes. But, that can only go so far. So, well, the thing of it is it new or is it used? See, everything that's been coming out, I'll check it out, but everything that comes out of him is old, used junk. It's stuff that he's talked about before, and it gets recycled. Plus, how do you know it's really him and not a software? There's software now that can make real people. I mean, some idiot came in here and said I'm a clone. Well, maybe the person on Tim Holmseth's video is a clone. The High Command is not Timmy's channel. You can ask, the person that owns the High Command exposed herself as the owner of it because of a DMC complaint that Levi Page posted against her. In order to file an appeal to his takedown order, she had to expose herself. And so we know who owns the High Command. That was a trap that was set, and she walked right into it because of her bloated ego. So, okay, let's see. What I'm trying to do right now is the way they've got their channel listed up here. The information is up on another. Oh, I'm pretty sure Monty knows. Patrick Henry talks about everybody. Well, Task Force is an idiot. But before anybody complains, and I guess I can go over here and report, before anybody complains that I am talking about Holmseth again, I made it very clear that it would have to be something of significance and a matter of public interest, and having a reward for his capture is considered significant matter of public interest. So that's why I am discussing Mr. Holmseth tonight. And it looks like I'll be discussing him from time to time in the future because he has managed to get himself famous for something else. Now he has a $5,000 bounty on him. And I would think that as more people get interested in wanting something done about this, let's see what we got here. Oh, this is the wrong one. Never mind. Okay. Because usually when he posts something, they repeat it, so I'm going at it this way. Okay, nothing here. Interesting. Well, 17 minutes. 7:18. Yeah, I hear people are speculating that I am going to Minnesota. Well, I guess you're going to have to find out, because I have not said where I'm going. So I guess people are just going to have to wait and see. Somebody had guessed that I'm going to Colorado. Somebody else has guessed I'm going to Arizona. There's a lot going on in Arizona. You know, I'm going someplace, and you're just going to have to tune in, because by Monday it will probably be apparent as to exactly where I am and why. So you're just going to have to wait and see, because I'm not giving even a hint of what's going on. Well, let's see. This is, all right, this is the wrong channel, but one day ago on that. Okay, let's see. I have a problem finding that channel because there's so many of them. Here we go. Okay, this is, okay, I've got the video up now. This is old. This is old. This is stuff that he put up, or was put up by his handler. And the thing about this video, he's not, right there. That picture there of him was taken almost a year ago. So this is not, there's no proof of life here at all. So Tim Holmseth is still missing in action. Yeah, so. But that, see, this is what's been going on, is his handler makes these videos. It's old stuff, and it's recycled. All you gotta do is watch it. It's old stuff. You know, they're using pictures of Tim that were taken back when he took his sightseeing tour across the United States. So there's no proof of life there at all. You know, and, you know, we could have a reward up for a dead man for all we know. But if Tim Holmseth is out there and active, and somebody needs $5,000, they'll find him. Because there have been people looking for Timmy, and they weren't even thinking about reward. They just wanted his ass arrested. Now there's 5,000 reasons to find him. Yeah, we got 9% unemployment in this country. We've got a deadly disease. We got people getting evicted from their apartments, people that don't have food, people that have cars that need to be repaired. $5,000 is, you know, for someone that's not making any money, you know, it's pretty good chunk of money. Well, I'm not confirming or denying anything. Everything's going to be a complete surprise. They should be abundantly clear what's going on Monday. Because the very first day I load the video up on YouTube, everyone will know exactly what's up. Because something of this nature I can't keep under the lid for a solid week. It's the first day out of the can, everybody's going to know. So Monday's an important day. Actually, every day, I anticipate Monday's going to be an important day. Tuesday is the day that I'm making this trip. Something happened months ago regarding this project, and I've been waiting for the hammer to drop, and it dropped. So September the 14th is the day when things are going to start. I'll be ready to go Sunday night, and Monday about 7, 8 o'clock, depending on how much editing I have to do every night. They'll be the same day. If not, they'll be the second day. But it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I come back on Friday. And there will be, if I get back early enough, there will be a live stream on Saturday where not only will I summarize the week's trip, but I'm going to how should I put this? There is going to be a really, really big surprise next week at this time. There's going to be something big that I'm holding until next Saturday. And that's a live stream that everybody's going to want to hang around for. This live stream right now, or the project during the week, I'm hoping it's going to be interesting. I'm going to do the best I can with it. This is the very first time in years that I've done a field trip out of state this long. And it's a complicated itinerary. I hope I can pull it off. But it's a fairly heavy schedule that I'm going on. It's going to be fluid. I've got a lot to cover in a short period of time. So, I do, like I said, tomorrow is when the plane goes wheels up. Well, I'm going to do my best. I'm not a professional at this. Somebody like Levi could probably do a better job, but I'm going to give it a shot. At least there'll be pictures. At the bare minimum, there's going to be pictures. And there may be other things that are going to happen during the week. So we'll see. But, I try and do this. I want to show people exactly what I do when I go to cover events out of state. So that as some of these, there's many, many things coming up. We got lawsuits coming up, trials coming up, all sorts of things. But again, Grippler, I'm not saying where I'm going. I cannot confirm nor deny where I am going. People are just going to have to tune in and find out. Well, that's Casbah. I don't know about the cash bar. I ain't got much cash to rock at a bar. I don't drink anyway. This trip may cause me to drive to drink. If anything, I'll drink Pepsi and milk. But, you see, I would like to figure something out to where I can go and cover a lot of this kind of story. If not about grifters and criminals, but people that are seeking justice, legitimate people looking for children, that sort of thing. Timmy could be anywhere. He's got a car, and he's got almost $1,000 a month in GoFundMe money. He's got a car. If he hasn't been repossessed, that gets 40 miles to the gallon, so he can go anywhere. So he could be in Tennessee. That's one of the states where people ought to put up these posters, because even if he can't get arrested in Tennessee, people will know if they see this guy, oh, he's that guy they got a wanted poster on that has the $5,000 reward. Now, I don't think you can collect on the reward if he's dead. He has to. It's kind of hard to arrest somebody if they're dead. We don't. Whoever is behind this $5,000, we don't want Timothy dead. We just want him arrested. We're not advocating anything here except his arrest. So if he is still in the state of Minnesota, he'll get arrested. Simple as that. If he wants to not be arrested, he's going to have to stay out of the state of Minnesota. That means he will not be able to see people he knows in Minnesota where his so-called network is, and he certainly is not going to be able to see his parents. So he's screwed. He can't. Anyone in the state of Minnesota, he can't go there because as these, people are doing research as to who is in his network. Everybody he knows, Trace Remington, all these people, and they are going to flood the entire state of Minnesota with these posters, from what I understand. I've discussed this with the Fugitive Task Force, and the plan is to put these posters all over the state of Minnesota. Places like Thief River, Brainerd, all these places. And if he shows up there, there's going to be a poster there. And if there's someone that needs $5,000, Timmy's going to jail. Simple as that. The cops may not be looking for him for a misdemeanor, but they will arrest him if he shows, if they see him. They're not going to ignore it. They have an obligation to arrest the man. I mean, the city of East Grand Forks, Minnesota has an outstanding warrant for his arrest. So, and the warrant is current. Any law enforcement agency in the in the state of Minnesota sees Tim Holmseth, they are obligated to arrest him. So the more of these things get sent out, the better. Even a town with a population of 100 needs to have a poster at the supermarket, McDonald's, any of these places. So, well, I cover it for two reasons. First of all, he has harassed me for 10 years. I told him a long time ago, shut up, leave me alone, I'll ignore you. Didn't follow my advice. He is harassing a public figure, Kim Picasio. That makes him someone of a matter of public interest. He's written a book accusing all kinds of people of things. He's accused the Vice President of the United States of trying to kill him. That makes him a public figure. He's accused the governor of the state of Florida of all kinds of things. So, when you elevate yourself to the point where you're saying that you are the official spokesman for a government agency, you make yourself a public figure. You're a Hollywood star. A lot of people want to know about you, and so that's one of the reasons I'm covering him. The case, the woman that he has harassed is from the state of Florida. The case originated in the state of Florida. I live in the state of Florida. I cover things that have to do with the state of Florida. So that's part of the connection. Tim Holmseth got himself involved in a case in the state of Florida. Again, this is a case less than 2 hours from my house. At the time, I operated a business in Palatka, near where the national case broke. And I live streamed things of interest. I live streamed the Casey Anthony case. I live streamed Trenton Duckett. Well, didn't live stream it, but I covered it. I live streamed the trial of Casey Anthony and the subsequent acquittal. This is what I do. And I'm not a professional. This is a hobby. I try to do mobile live streaming. Right now, I can't do it on YouTube because I don't have enough subscribers. If I had 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I might have done things a little different with the Chaos Project, but since I do not have 1,000 subscribers, I have to do it the way I'm going to do it. It's all going to have to be taped and put up on the day it happens, as best I can do. And so that's what you're going to see. You're going to see as it happens. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then my departure from my final destination on Friday. And then Saturday, I will, if I get back early enough, I will do a live stream where I will give out additional information. Number one, the information that caused me to do what I did, and some information that I did not disclose until I get back, because it was necessary for me to do things the way I did it in order for the conclusion to come out the way it did. So Saturday, if anything, even if this turned out to really be a really bad week as far as my presentation, you can tune in Saturday and you can get details that have not been disclosed. Good night, Kev. Thanks for checking in. It's nice to see some decent numbers for once. I'm quite pleasantly surprised to see the numbers up where they are. This is double what I normally have at this time of the year. Yeah, the mountain roads can be a pain in the. You got to try it in a semi sometime, Levi. Yeah, I've been all over Tennessee. I've been on some of those roads up there, and boy, you get some rough-ass roads, especially in the winter. I've gone over Mount Eagle so many times I got every bump in the road. 6'2". Ooh, wow, that's tall. Man, you can play basketball. Love it. Yeah, well, that is a big ass hill, and yeah, they actually have a speed limit for trucks on that thing, because it's dangerous to go down that thing if you don't have an engine brake. You best be doing the speed limit, or you're going to die, or else you're going to find out how that escape ramp works. Because they have escape ramps on there in case your brakes get too hot to stop. You go down that mountain with an 80,000 pound load, gross weight on a truck. You're taking your life in your hands. Yep, good old Jake brake. My favorite thing was to set off my Jake brake going under a bridge. Makes a good acoustic echo chamber. Sit there and throw that sucker off going under a bridge. Yeah, I'm retired too. I couldn't pass the DOT physical anymore. So it's forced retirement. Ugh. I keep thinking of the places that I gotta go this week. Jesus. It's gonna be a change of environment. Well, usually any heavy truck will have a Jake brake, especially if you're in an area with the steep grades, because it sure helps to slow them down in a hurry. Fire trucks, even the smaller fire trucks, are pretty heavy. 20,000 pounds. And you got a truck with. No, unfortunately I have never had to. I came close once. I was going east, I was going west, and I was going down. I got to the last leg, and my brakes started to feel mushy. When they get hot, they feel mushy. But I just coasted all the way down that last leg, because that last part of Mount Eagle, there's no more runaways. You get down to the bottom of the mountain, and all of a sudden you get this long straightaway of the interstate. And so I had plenty of time. But boy, I tell you, I pulled over and the smoke was just coming off the brakes. So you got to be really, really, really careful going down that mountain, because you will die. Yeah, driving can do that. You know, arthritis, that's common. Hearing loss is common. High blood pressure is common. And I got all of it. Not arthritis, but the rest of it. Wow. Yeah, there's, you know, trucks can cause a lot of accidents, and sometimes it's the trucker's fault, and sometimes it's not. But it's best when you're around a truck. It's best to anticipate the worst so you can get out of the way. 'Cause I don't know what her occupation is. I thought her girlfriend was working for corrections. So I don't know. But her girlfriend, from what I understand, is a corrections officer. Yeah, I'm an award-winning person myself. I've got a 2 million mile safety award from the American Trucking Association. I mean, I managed to drive and get 2 million miles without getting into an accident. And actually, that's been true of my whole career. I drove for 40 years and I didn't have a single accident. You know, some drunk ran into the back of my car or my truck, but that's not considered an accident because the drunk driver caused it was a drive. You know, the American Trucking Association said, no, that doesn't qualify as an accident because you didn't do anything wrong. You know, he hit you. Because they investigate that sort of thing, so. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you had a sister that was such a conscientious driver that she was able to make that achievement. You know, hats off to her. That's a tough thing to do. Believe me. All these crazy people out there. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can go another hour. So I usually sleep hours. If anything, I can sleep in the airplane on the way up. Let me see something. And, I'm sure somebody out there could use a few dollars. Yeah, that's the Florida warrant. Okay, this is the Florida warrant. As soon as I fix this, I'm going to drop out here. So. But this is one you don't see very often. This is what started everything. Yeah, Trader Mert was my CB handle because I used to do a lot of horse trading, if you could call it that. Okay, let me see. I had to see if I could. And that ain't gonna work. Let me bring that down just a little bit. But this is this one you don't see all the time. Usually the only ones you see are the Minnesota warrant, but this is the Florida warrant. This is basically what started everything. Now, there is no expiration date on the one in the state of Florida. So, if someone from the state of Florida were to get Tim Holmseth arrested, there's a possibility that the bounty would be honored. Am I going to make a bounty vid? Roger. Yeah, Dodger. I want to see that one. Your take on things is cute. I absolutely guarantee you, Dodger, you're going to have enough material from this coming week to make a year's worth of videos. Because I've got a full calendar, and I think you're going to like it. So tune in and see what you think, if there's anything worthwhile putting up on your videos. Dodger be the man with the plan. Well, I don't know if you could call it an appearance, but a person was entered. But I am going to try and justify my promotion. So I'm crossing my fingers here and hoping this thing is something that's going to be worthwhile for you people to be interested in. Because I'm hoping this can be the start of more of this type of trip, so that you people can see things at the places where the stories take place, where the stories start, how the story progresses, and finally how the story ends. So this is the way I've always wanted to do things, so I figured I'd try and do this. Who in the hell is this? Funny. Well, she might have been right, because the problem with the White Isles is you can't see any direction. Your best bet is to slow down as safely as you can and just follow the road, because a lot of people pull over and you might wind up sideswiping them pulling over. So best to stay in your lane. There's been a lot of accidents that happen in whiteouts because everybody has the instincts to pull over to the right and get off the road. And usually there's somebody right there waiting for you to hit them. Because I've been stuck in those whiteouts, and it's definitely, you can't even see out your mirror. It's that bad. Well, I'm glad that she had good instincts. That's 90% of trucking is instinct. You just have to use your instinct and your training. And the best thing is you don't panic. You just work the problem, as we say. And so she did good. I'm glad that she's one of the better ones out there. Now we're getting a lot of these young kids now that they're not safe, and that's really can be. Well, I beat her by 8 years. I say 40. I probably drove a little bit longer than that, but 40 is a good solid, is a good solid number, because I drove for the most part, and then there's times when I took a year or two off. But I've been driving professionally since I was 21, and I haven't been off the road that long. So you figure I came off the road officially in 2006 or something like that. I drove until I was 66. The handle of the person putting up the reward is Fugitive Task Force. Oops, I don't know what I did. But that's the link to the Facebook page that has information on the reward. So if you, oh wow, it's a good start. Gulf Oil. Gulf Oil pays, especially if you get into Teamsters. But getting back to the subject, the Looking for Truth, that's the Facebook site where the person that posted the reward operates out of. It explains exactly what to look, how the requirements are met. And basically what has been said is that Tim has to be arrested, and the person would have to prove that they were responsible for Tim being arrested. And that's it. There does not have to be a conviction. It's a very low bar. Oh, cool. Keep it in the family business. You made a wise choice. But if somebody is able to provide information that gets Tim Holmseth arrested and prove that they are the ones that provided that information, they will get the $5,000. That is probably the easiest $5,000 that anybody could make. So you armchair detectives, get out there and start looking for this clown and make yourself a few bucks. Because if he is in the state of Minnesota, you can get him. The posse can go out there and get him. These sovereign citizens like to talk about posses, so let's form a posse and go get Tim. And I will be right back. Oh, what a relief it is. There we go. Got it right that time. Getting better at this. Yeah, Prime, I see a lot of Prime trucks. It's a big company. It's one of the bigger companies. I work for a lot of different companies. I did a stint with an outfit out of Salt Lake City, Utah, CNR England. I work for Ligon Specialized Haulers out of Kentucky. I did that. That's where I did all my oversized stuff. All kinds of weird stuff. Yeah, I need the $5,000 myself, but chances of me finding this idiot is nil. Yeah. Oh, I know who I want to check on. But, yeah, task force is funny because she did not address the reward thing at all. She completely ignored it. She did not want to broach on the subject of the I just had somebody send me a funny message. No, but I lost track of what I was doing when I saw that message. I wonder if Dr. Tammy would take Tim in. You know, she seems to like him a lot. That would be funny. I don't know how far he'd have to go to be in Tammy Powers' company. Come on, Austin Steibert's another piece of work. Well, you know, Timmy has been on the West Coast before, so, you know, $40 a gallon, he'd probably be out there in $100 worth of gas. And she would probably send it to him. I mean, women just love to send this guy money. All right, here we go. Seven hours. 7 hours, 7 hours. Nothing. Absolutely. And people on the other side just clammed right up. And not a mention of that reward at all. Well, you know, they could go to David Strait. You know, the postmaster of the world. Maybe the postmaster of the world will give them a pardon or something. And I'll tell you, if Tim Holmseth gets bumped up to a felony, which is likely based on certain things, somebody that will get, and this will make it to where more people get that $5,000. Yeah, from what I understand, Kirk could use the money. I had information coming my way that alleges that Kirk Pendergrass is driving around on a suspended driver's license. I mean, he basically does not have a current driver's license. It got suspended. And there was a story that when he was up at the courthouse during the preliminary trial, or the day that Tim Holmseth skipped, the cops were waiting for him to get behind the wheel of the truck and drive it because they were going to arrest him on the spot, and Kirk actually had somebody else drive so he wouldn't get caught. And I understand there's someone who lives in Minnesota that's driving on a expired driver's license. And as a matter of fact, Tim Holmseth is driving without a valid license, driver's license. So this this is information that's come my way recently. That, a lot of these people don't have driver's licenses, or they're expired. They're going through the sovereign citizen stuff. And so when these people get pulled over, this is another way that Tim Holmseth could get arrested. If he gets pulled over and they ask him for his driver's license, that's all it's going to take. Into jail he goes. So, all these people have things to worry about. And driver's licenses are the least of their worries. There's all kinds of stuff hanging over the heads of these people. This Cynthia Absud case stands a good chance of getting all these people in some very serious trouble. Anybody that aided and abetted that. And there's another story I'm working on that's going to be coming out. It's kind of weird. But according to my sources, there's several sources, this actually happened. And this gets into just how serious things are. So it's going to be interesting things are coming my way in the foreseeable future. So I suggest that people tune in and subscribe, like, and share my streams, especially the one I'm going to be doing this coming week. So the people who are interested in the various things going on the internet and throughout the country can, have a rather unique glimpse into these things from being on the scene to explain how things happen. I did it with Anthony, I did it with Duckett, and now I'm doing it again. I've got a very complicated and widespread itinerary with the Chaos Project. It's gonna take me a week to get through all of this. So get the popcorn and beer and popcorn or whatever it is you eat and drink, and the length of each segment will probably be a minimum of an hour. It depends on how things go on each day, but I have it planned that with the videos that I will make and then the subsequent summary of the day's events will be about an hour. I don't know as if I go beyond that because I don't want to bore people to tears. I'm going to be taping all day long. And so I'm going to have hours and hours and hours of material that I'm going to have to go through in order to choose up what I feel is the best parts of everything. But hopefully it's worth your while, folks. Well, I just hope I don't disappoint. I'm not a professional. And, I just, usually the story tells its story, and I'm just here as the messenger. I let the videos do the talking for the most part. And there's going to be enough material so that when I get through with this week, I can break it up into an ongoing series that every once in a while I'll show an aspect of the Chaos Project that wasn't in the original series, because I anticipate there being a lot of stuff to work with and a lot of diverse topics to discuss as a result of this trip. So we shall see what we shall see. It's 11:30. I like these people. There are people, sending me messages, posting over on Facebook and elsewhere, trying to figure out what I'm doing. And they're guessing, but I will neither confirm nor deny any of the guesses. You're just going to have to wait and see. I'm not going to give hints other than it's going to be an interesting, I'm hoping it's going to be an interesting presentation. I'm going to try and explain things that have not been explained before in certain details of these various multiple places that I plan on visiting. See, whoever Matthew Vaughn has guessed, trying to guess. These people that, they're coming up with all kinds of guesses and stuff, and, somebody's either right, somebody's wrong, or they haven't guessed at all. Somebody is complaining that they got blocked from a private account. You can't read a private account. So I'm not understanding what the big deal is. If you see the little padlock on somebody's name, that means that it's a private account. You have to be invited. You can't read blocked accounts. So that's, this QAnon patriot is complaining because they can't see a locked account. How stupid these QAnons are. I love it. There is no other story out there on this. I cannot verify this is true. But until she got hit with a false information, she published it with no disclaimer. And now they come up with a fact check that Netflix CEO was not busted with 13,000 files of child pornography. So once again, this QAnon conspiracy nut got hit with at least the 10th false news disclaimer. So these people put up this crap, and then they complain when it gets struck because it's fake news. And this time she admitted it was fake news. It's funny as hell. And they just, they keep putting up fake crap. Well, thanks for the compliment, Laurie. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to make it to where it's not a waste of time for you people to be around. And I am going to try and cover as much as I can things that you express that you're all interested in. My job, such as it is here to serve you guys as best I can. It's something I like doing. Yeah, there should be plenty out there, Dodger. Go over to the website and, you're welcome, Dodger. Go over to the website and see what's on there. There's a couple of Facebook pages having to do with Tim Holmseth that has a lot of information on it. And I'm sure, there's the Florida, I think there's the Florida arrest warrant. I'm going to have to check that Facebook page out because I just learned about it. And I understand that there is going to be a YouTube channel that is going to be operating by the owners of the Facebook page. So you'll want to keep an eye out on that. And I will keep track of the progress as it goes along. Yeah, Dog the Bounty Hunter. You can probably find that on YouTube. Because Cobra's a bounty hunter. He could use some money. And he's got resources. Because the word gets out to bounty hunters that there's a $5,000 reward, and it's such an easy reward to get. Because you don't have to, it's not for the arrest and conviction, it's just bring them to the attention of the cops and you made yourself $5,000. So bounty hunters, they're they got a network and they got somebody like Dog could find Timmy in a half an hour. And I don't know what the law is if he could snatch them up and take them across state lines to, because he's basically like a private detective. If he could take them to the authorities and turn them in, I don't know what the law is on that, but I'm sure where there's a will, there's a way. I'm sure he would find some way to accomplish it. Monty might want to make $5,000. Monty's got a good system for finding people, so he's got incentive enough to do it. So maybe Monty will find him. I'm pretty sure the person behind the Facebook account would be more than happy to have Monty get the money. And it's all it takes is to get information about him that gets him arrested, and you get five big ones. $5,000 cash money. Well, I don't know how. Probably be a PayPal or something. I don't know what the financial arrangements are that the person has made or the group behind that page. Let me go over and check that real quick. Okay, I'm on the Facebook page. So far, just the reward. It's got pictures there. The arrest warrant. It's taking forever to load. But they've got the warrant for his arrest there. So it explains that. And it is good in the entire state of Minnesota. So I think what I am the private chat room is permanently deleted. I wonder what the heck that's about. Hey, Roger Stone just wants to get himself thrown back in prison. Jesus, what a loon. Well, in these hard times, $5,000 is a good incentive, $5,000 to somebody that's not getting any money right now is something worth fighting for. I gotta quit doing that. I'm getting sidetracked. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it a night because I gotta get set up, get things going here. So I will try and get some flight videos up. And at least you'll have some idea what I've been doing on Sunday. I'm probably am not going to set the cameras up on the car. I'll see. I may change my mind because it's almost 12 o'clock and I got, this is my itinerary. So, as you see, I've got, I will be flying from 7:30 in the morning until 11:15. And then I've got to go get my luggage. I've got to get the rental car. La. So I'm going to be busy. And for some reason, the airline that I'm flying could not get me a direct flight. Now, before, when I've made my trips, they've been direct. But I think the problem is because of the cutbacks in service, they've had to go and efficiently use the aircraft as best they can. And so when this was booked, both ways, it's going to be connecting flights, both going up and coming back. So I'm thinking, well, that's a trip, because I'm scheduled to be back in Florida sometime between 9 and 10 o'clock at night, which is one of the reasons that I'm not going to be live streaming next Friday, is because I will not get to the house in time to get on the air. You're going to have to wait until Saturday, provided everything goes the way they're supposed to go. So, but I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will probably be putting up Twitter stuff from time to time. Might put up some pictures and so forth. Certainly after Monday, because once everything goes up on Monday, everybody's going to know what's going on. And then that's when all hell's going to break loose. And then Tuesday, because I'm going to give you this much, Monday's going to be pretty interesting. I anticipate it to be interesting. Tuesday is the reason I'm making this trip. It's the one reason I'm going up there. I could probably have done this in one day, but as I got closer to the time that I was going to make this trip, I started getting a lot of information, and that information has led me to spread out the itinerary. So Tuesday is going to be an important day. Wednesday is going to be an important day. And Thursday, I'm not sure of yet. I've gotten some brand new information that may make me change what I was going to do on Thursday. So I'm going to be busy. I've got a lot of territory to cover, a lot of miles to cover. And, a lot that I've got to be able to patch together to hopefully make this a worthwhile presentation. Make it worth my time, make it worth your time. And this is something of an experiment to see if this is something I'm going to be able to keep doing for you guys, to see if I'm going to be able to generate the kind of interest that would keep you guys coming back for more. So again, like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to make a new banner, because the third key thing to do is to share the story, to see if more and more people would be interested. Because the nice thing about what I'm doing is I wish I had been able to do this live, because it would be a much more interesting experience if I could do this live at the time that I'm going through all this. I did it when I did the Kentucky trip, but I did it on Twitter, and the problem with doing this on Twitter is not enough people view it. I don't have the viewership on Twitter. It's somewhat restricted, and so it's hard to build the numbers up. I put all my chips, as it were, on this channel. And so YouTube offers the most promise as far as generating what I need to generate in order to continue doing this. So I've got to hit that 1,000 subscriber threshold. And it's not as easy as it sounds. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go out and buy subscribers. These fakes out there that have these YouTube channels, the PPTF and like that, they actually buy subscribers. It's easy to do. You spend $5, you get 1,000 subscribers. So probably for $50, they got their 30,000 subscribers. That's cheating. YouTube, if they ever catch them at it, they'll throw their channel off. I don't cheat. If I can't do this honestly, I'm not going to do it at all. So, I'm content with my 800 plus subscribers, and if I can get more, fine. But I let the videos speak for themselves. People can decide if they're interested in enough to like, subscribe, and share my videos. All the better. And as I get more familiar with the software, I'm going to try and improve upon my presentations on these channels. And so, we are coming up on 2 hours and 45 minutes. I went longer than I anticipated. So I'm going to bid everybody a good night. Be safe. Be well. Much success in your endeavors for the week. And I'll see you Saturday. And you'll see me on my recorded videos throughout the week. So tune in and enjoy. This is William K. MURTATHON, Mert Witness 1. Have a good one.